Buenos dias, Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Like a motherfucker. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Oh, there's an issue. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. We're gonna get into it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye-ya. Bye-ya. Bye. As you can tell by that thumbnail right there, yes, indeed, I'm about to write graffiti on the bus. I'm gonna give it to you in a real fashion. Now, trip out. I watch YouTube. You watch YouTube? Simone, you're watching it right now. In a menudo style and direct fashion, we like to watch YouTube. So that's what we do as people in general. So I was scrolling through YouTube the other day and I came across the homeboy Dubs V's channel. Shout out to the homeboy Dubs V. If you haven't tapped in, make sure you tap in, man. Likeable, huggable, thuggable. You know what I mean? What's cracking, eh? Tight fella, man. The homeboy is a good vato. Everything he says in a righteous fashion, I listen to. You know, I like his intelligence. I like the way he conveys his message. It's always a positive one, yet it's a real one. And that's what matters here. Right here on Gunners Collective, I like the really real, realer than the real deal, Holyfield type shit with 2 ears. That's how we get down. Anyways, I commend him on his agenda and I commend him on his content. But I watched one of his videos the other day and I felt that for no other reason, I should respond to this video because the wind's blowing. And even then, I got something to say about this certain situation. So he made reference to the Pelican Bay Riot in 2000, where several inmates, several convicts, several people were injured during this riot, and one vato actually, came up murdered. He came up murdered by the police officers, by the COs. They actually hit him, and it's very unfortunate, that someone, especially Raza, had to lose their life in this situation. But, when you go over there and you're strapped and you take up arms, then you already know what that entails. You already know the get down. Anything can happen, especially in a place as perilous and as vicious as Pelican Bay. This place has been known throughout the years to be one of the bloodiest, one of the most tenacious and vicious prisons in the California Department of Corrections and CDC history. Now, with that being said, Sasuke, I was watching this video and I said, all right, okay, orderly Dubs. All right, you're doing your thing. But what caught my attention was this individual, and you see him on the thumbnail looking like this, pointing like a motherfucker, right? Big U. Big U. First and foremost, shout out some respects to Nips, man, in the 60s gang. But I will say this about Big U. I've watched some of his content on YouTube. I've seen some of the interviews with him. I've seen a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And I got to say, respects to the individual, respects for the way he wiggles, the way he gets to the bag, and respect for a lot of things that he says. But, okay, it was brought up by Dubs, and this is my response to that video because I felt like I should piggyback and let it be known. I got something to say too. Dubs made a good point. And I'm going to give you a little bit of history, a little knowledge that you can't get in college. Put your fucking shower shoes on, Sasuke, and don't slip because we're about to get to it right here in real life. Big U made some comments that he knocked out 32 Southern Mexicans during this Pelican Bay riot. The fucking wind's not blowing, right? I've done a lot of time incarcerated in California Department of Corrections. I've been around the block in the 6'4", riding on 4 flats. I know what it takes and what goes into the intricacies and the details of being on that yard as a norteño. Okay, my southern counterparts have always been the majority on these yards. Okay, quietly as it's kept, watch out, I'm gonna give you guys a news flash right here. Breaking news, watch out. Shh. You hear that? Of course you don't hear it because I ain't said it yet. I'm telling you right now, the Southern Mexicans from down south, the Sureños, Southsiders, Camaradas, whatever you like to call them, basically control the majority of the yards in the California Department of Corrections. And that's just a fact. Where are your fucking antennas when the Southsiders are over there busting the biggest spread on the yard you ever done seen? I'll tell you where mines were, watching like, let's get down, that burrito is bomb, right? They're always over there doing their things. This is a group that is very vicious in nature. This is a group that is very organized. Okay, now the stigma and the way people say it is norteños are always more organized than everyone. I won't say necessarily more organized, but I will say more militant. We put a lot of restraint on our people. We put a lot of strain on our people. We put a lot of goals, rules, regulations, and things that are set forth, concepts, so that way you could strive to be better yourself for the betterment of the people. That's what it's all about. For social status of equality, you could strive to that next level, and you could always stay prepared for guerra on that yard, for war. Okay, well, the Southerners do the exact same thing. So when Big U says, hey, Sasuke, watch out. Hey, and he's over here on the Breakfast Club or whatever the fuck they call that, the yelling over each other club. When he's over there on the yelling each other over each other club, he's talking about, hey, I knocked out 32 Southern Hispanics in that riot. I call cagada. I call bullshit. And I'm going to tell you guys why I call bullshit. Now, I don't know the man's fighting skills. I don't know if he knows ninjutsu. I don't know what he knows. But at the end of the day, when you have 32 righteous soldados fully strapped up on a 4-yard like Pelican Bay, right, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't give a fuck if you're Chuck Norris, Bruce Lee, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal, Sasuke, who's that other vato that does all his own stunts? Pinchy Jackie Chan. You ain't got no action right there. These vatos are going to be on you, and they're going to be on you fast. Now, let me tell you how the get down is. I know that Dubs can only tell you so much. That he doesn't like to speak on prison politics or speak on prison necessarily. So he's going to give you the roundabout way. But I'm going to kick the fucking door up and palo, I'm in, right? And I'll tell you this. When Big U said that, I was flabbergasted. Word of the day, flabbergasted. And menudo está said, Charlie, I respect you, Big U, but you need to hit the U-turn one time because real talk, there is no way humanly possible a norteño, a motherfucking sureño in bad standings, a gripa, a sangre, anybody, kumi, a white boy, sprinkle them in for flavor. There's no way absolutely that you're going to be able to fight off 32 armed Southern Hispanics or Southern Mexicans for what they call them, right? Period. It just doesn't work that way. Now, let me give you the rundown how it goes in prison. And I'm going to speak on the northern behalf, from the northern side, right? Because when I was functioning and fully active, there was certain rules and regulations and ways that we carried ourselves. When we hit that yard, we did definitely have targets. And I know the Southern Mexicans do as well. Okay, now what a target is if you are a fucking vato from the opposition of influence, and everybody knows who is who. Everybody knows that's somebody when you're in prison. Everyone knows who the shot callers are, who the llaveros are, who are the people that are making moves to keep that facility pushing, right? Everybody has targets. Sasuke, come here. Tell your son, come here, vato. Come here, baboso, right? Watch out. See that vato right there? Just look at watch the way he's moving. Beep, boop, boop, boop. See? Target 101. He's a target, right? So when something is to happen and everything is coordinated, well planned out, well thought out, shit doesn't just happen on the spur of the moment. If it does, and sometimes, yes, indubitably, you know what I mean? We're all human. I'm only human, born to make mistakes. Shit happens. Mistakes are being made, right? But for the most part, everything is cold calculated and hey, Sasuke, what do you got going on today? Well, I got a few burpees on the yard. Well, watch out. We're going to kill this guy at about 10, 15. You ready? I guess. Well, you know what I mean? Maybe I can fit like at least 50, 22s and by that time. Well, Sasuke, hurry up. You know what I mean? Because we got to kill the vato. Allegedly. This is how the get down is. Everybody is on a time schedule. Everybody knows what's happening except for the group it's happening on. That's the way it's coordinated out. And every different group segment rocks like this. So you have targets, meaning anyone of influence, anyone that has size, anyone that knows ninjutsu, or anyone that knows anything like that. These are going to be the guys that you try to hit quick, efficiently, and first and foremost. Just based on they pose more of a threat to the carro than everyone else. So if Big U was right there rocking on this yard like he says he was, and he had some type of influence and he was somebody, which I'm not going to take that from him. I'm sure he was. He's a big Crip man. He's well recognized. You know, he's got a big loud voice. Everyone knows who this vato is. Of course, in Pelican Bay, he's going to have influence within his carro. He's well known. So he would have been a target first and foremost right off the top. So I was scared they wouldn't even waited. He would have been the first one with a pico de gallo from here to there. Period. So when this vato is saying, hey, I was slinging with 32 Mexicans, I knocked them all out. All right, calm down, Michael Thompson, right? And in this fashion, why does everybody got to be that man? Why does everyone got to be 32-0? Why does everyone got to be Canelo? Órale, cabrones, viva Mexico. And happy Cinco de Mayo, since we're here. Why does everyone have to be that one? Why can't you take an elbow once in a while? Why can't you take a Randy Savage? Why do you always have to take a dub? You know, why do you always have to be the winner? Now, I understand everybody wants to strive to be the winner. Shit, every fight I go into, I'm going in there with murderous intentions, allegedly, right? I'm going in there trying to rip someone's head off, but at the same time, I'm under the understanding, and I'm fucking a normal vato, so I know that, hey, a vato can catch you with that tiger uppercut and end your whole career, and your Sonic boomed, right? Period. So when this vato says that he beat up or knocked out 32 Mexicans from Southern California, I call bullshit. And the reason I call bullshit is if you look at the tape, there's a tape out there. Sasuke Dubs had a little clip of the tape. on his channel. But I've done some extensive research. Of course, everybody knows about this Pelican Bay riot. It's the most bloodiest riot in the history of California, or one of them. It's the most well-known, just based on where it was at and how it went down. And I'm about to give you some details on how it went down. Not the whys, because that's none of my business, but the hows, right? There's no way. I call cagada. Like I said, I call bullshit, man. And maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe I'm totally off base. Maybe I'm totally off beat. But sabes que? Nit knows, right? Just like I know. No one man is going to knock out 32 well-armed soldados that are fully strapped up with nothing to lose. Now, let me tell you about the Southern Hispanics. Vatos I've been around. The Mexicanos, you know. These vatos are dedicated to their belief system. They're dedicated to their cause. They're always dominant in numbers, meaning they always know that they have the upper hand. Maybe not necessarily in strategy, but in numbers. Wave after wave after wave. I've been in places where the Sureños or the Southsiders have shot 10 or 15 vatos at them and not even missed a beat. So the other ones are over there eating the spread, not even watching it. They ain't tripping. They come in waves. Right? So if you watch this tape of this Pelican Bay riot, and I'm just going to keep it motherfucking actual and factual, you know? Hey, you can say what you want in the comments. You can represent your people if that's how you feel. I'm not here to represent one people or the other. I'm here to represent all people and to represent the truth. And the truth remains that there's no way this vato did this. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I watched it. Oh, Simon, I sat down with popcorn. I was eating my popcorn in the menudo stand in direct fashion con tapatio. That shit was bomb. You know how I get down. So I'm watching it. My antennas are up like a motherfucker, not like a roach, right? And I'm tripping, and I see several individuals on the basketball court, as soon as this riot popped off, take off running towards the fence. I've seen vatos hopping the fence. I've seen vatos going, do, skip to my loo, my darling, woo, and they were gone, right? There was vatos on the other side were doing the bitty, bitty, bam, bam. They were trying to get up out the way. Now, I'm not going to say that vatos were running and gunning. I'm not going to sit here and say one group or another was doing offense, defense, right? But the way it looked to me was like when vatos are caught off guard, and I've been in prison riots, I've been in prison melee, so I can tell you first and foremost from a motherfucker who really did it, when you catch someone off guard, yes, they will stand their ground, but at the same time, your first instinct is to flight. And I don't mean flight. I mean, I could believe I could fly, right? They're trying to fly up over a fence and get the fuck away from the 32 Mexicans with knives, period, allegedly. Okay, so anyways, trip out. When this thing went down, when this riot went down, it was a coordinated plan. It didn't necessarily go according to plan, though. Okay, one of the vatos from the South jumped the gun. Indubitably, he jumped the gun. And you got to understand, these young guys, these young gang members that are there, that are getting told, you know, are getting directives. This is why it's going down. This is how it's going down. This is the reasoning behind it. They're never going to question the authority. They're never going to say, well, I got a question, eh? ¿Por qué? You know, I get out in 18 years. ¿Por qué I have to get involved? So I actually like the Africano bate. You know what I mean? One time you gave me a sopa. There's none of that. It's like, hey, homie, we're getting off today on B yard, B facility. What's happening, right? Vatos are doing this. Simon, what are we waiting for, homes? You know what I mean? Everyone comes safely and secure. Make sure you're strapped up. Make sure you do your drop. Make sure you're ready. Make sure you come out on that yarda, on that 4 yard, or even if it's a 3 yard, safely, secure, and with weaponry. Meaning you will defend the casa. You will defend the raza. You will defend the household. This is the same way the Norteños do it. This is the same way the Southsiders do it. You will defend your household. Okay? It's a must. If you're a coward, you do cowardice acts and you lay it down, believe the next yarda, you will be smoked. You will be the one like this. You will be the one over there in that city like, dude, sad than a motherfucker, right? So people know what time it is. But most of these vatos that are out there in the yardas, they're not even going to question it. So they're like, yeah, me. Everybody is going to fucking paper, rock, and scissors over who's going to blast the target. Everybody has targets. Now, at this time, and I'm not going to say who said it, man, fill it up with unleaded. It's neither here nor there. But after talking to a lot of people that were there during that fucking riot, they have told me, yes, indeed, y'all wait for this information, right? That there was 5 targets on that yard, meaning there was 5 leaders, black leaders, Africanos, you know, from the Kumis, from the Tripas, from the Bloods, from the Muslims. There was 5 influential members there that were targets. Okay, so what happened was a Southsider jumped the gun. If you watch the video, refer to the video, right? If you watch the video, you're going to see vatos that are walking on the track. When a vato that gets up off a table where all the Southsiders were gathered, What you don't see in the video is there was other tables with a lot of Southsiders gathered. It was all strategic. They were surrounding vatos. All the Africanos, the majority of them were either walking the track or on that basketball court, to which it's anyone that knows that's been in prison, that's where the Africanos area is. It's usually they have their own bars and they hang out pretty much they're predominantly at the basketball courts. You know, that's kind of their thing. The Mexicans and the whites will have one basketball court, whereas the Africanos, the Northerners, and the others will have the other. That's just how it is. That's the makeup. That's the philosophy of the politics in prison. Anyways, if you watch the video close, you can see an Africano brother walking the track, to which a Southsider immediately gets off as soon as he walks past him. Now, he did jump the gun. I'm being told that he did jump the gun. Southside wasn't supposed to go down like that. They had some strategy of surrounding. They were trying to surround so they can maximize the most kills they can get. Okay, so it popped off prematurely, but at the same time, that don't mean nothing. If you watch, you can see several Southern Mexicans running this way and several Vatos running that way, right? The Vatos that are running that way were of an Africano nature. Now, I'm not going to say they were running away from the fight, but they were trying to get somewhere to secure themselves. Sasuke maybe do their drop, maybe pull out their pedazo, because they were caught off guard. And ain't nothing wrong with that, man. When shit goes down, like I said, one group knows what time it is, the other group usually don't. Most times, though, there's a motherfucking electricity in the air, and everyone's waiting, and they're plotting, and they're planning, and everyone's like this. Make them saying, they're waiting to get off and handle their business. And that's quite understandable. But this Vato Big U wasn't one of those motherfuckers waiting. He was over there with the basketball. Like, I got it, like AI, right? He was on that motherfucker. He was actually looking like Shaq, but playing like AI. He was over there playing some basketball, not even really tripping when the shit popped off. Okay, so your first instinct as a man is to secure yourself. Turn around, get your back against the wall, and your dick is in the dirt, right? You're ready to handle business. But 32 well-armed soldados from the south coming at you with pico de gallos. Yes, bone crushers, pedazos, Conan the Barbarian swords. You don't stand a chance. There's no way. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's no way you're even going to come into contact with 32 Southsiders. They're not going to use that much manpower on one target. It's going to be 2 or 3 Vatos with some cool 5-6 inch pieces. They're going to hit you and do it pushing on to the next fight, right? Now, there was one Vato that was there. A very influential old school Africano. And I got this firsthand, man, from someone told me the story, man. It's a fact. This Vato right here, yes, indeed, I wrote graffiti, did get hit so many fucking times and left licking. It was an ugly situation. But did that Vato fucking feel some type of way? No. You know why? When he came back from administrative segregation and from the, wherever he was, the infirmary, he got out the Southern Mexicans, slid him a little paloma, slid him a little wheel and said, you know what, I understand that business is business. And every one of my homeboys on our side that took off running, oh, we know who they are. We will be dealing with them swiftly. There was a lot of more internal confliction amongst the Africanos after this riot for Vatos that didn't participate, ran or laid it down. On the southern side, man, every Vato participated. It's a must. Retaliation is a must where they're from, right? You have to handle your business. For those that maybe fucking failed because their shoelaces weren't tight, so I'm sure they dealt with the repercussions, the chequeada, the regulation, as they had to, accordingly. That's just the way it goes. But for the most part, all Southern Mexicans reported to duty. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. So when they Vato, Pinche Big U, right? The YouTube sensation himself, when he sits there and says, he wants to speak on Nip, you know what I mean? Young Nip, shout out to respects. You want to speak on this fucking feo pitas, whack 100. You want to get involved in the politics of the Crip card. That's cool. You can do that. You want to get involved in Africano business. You want to yell over each other on the breakfast fucking tonto club or whatever it's called. You know what I mean? A bunch of tontos like this. Right? When you want to do all that, that's fine. To each their own. You know what I mean? I sit there, I listen to it. I got a lot of Africano homeboys. We sit there and listen ourselves. He's like, damn, man, these fools are fucking highly suspect. And the other ones are highly fucking, very disrespectful, man. Not letting the next man talk. I said, I hear it, man, but I can't call it like an alcoholic. Them's used people. He said, no, them's our people. I said, how's it my people? He says, because we're the human race. We're all one people. I said, Sasuke, I'm going to use that in my next spiel because you're right. You're absolutely right. I'm about black and brown unity, man. I'm about the gente coming together. I'm about everyone getting their fair shake around this motherfucker. But at the same time, I'm not going to let anyone, I don't care who you are, I don't care what your fame is, I don't care what you think, disrespect any of the raza and belittle what has went on. Now, I know you say to yourself right now, well, what does it matter? Gun, it's old school. It was a riot. Because when people always are trying to belittle the raza, they're always trying to say like we're some type of suckers, man. Let me tell you something, man. When you go to prison, everybody knows it's a quietly unspoken rule, whether it's from up north or down south. you better run from the SA because they got knives. And that's a fact, man. Menudo. And you will get menudoed in there. Everybody knows. It's not a fucking secret. Through history, man, look at your history, right? I'm not going to say the Afrikaners won't poke you too, because yes, indeed, they will write graffiti on your bus, right? The white boys, they're just a different, whole different breed. Them motherfuckers, they walk out there looking like motherfucking Red Sonja and Conan the Barbarian. It's different, right? But when it comes to the Hispanics, the Mexicanos, the Chicanos, the Norteños, the Sureños, man, everybody don't want that smoke. Don't nobody want that smoke. When it comes to the Bulldogs, don't nobody want that smoke. The only one that wants that smoke are other Mexicans. That's just a fucking fact. I'm not going to sit here and say we're the most dangerous people, man, but in prison, we're different, right? Straight up. Everything is a strategy. So when Big U is running his neck bone, you know what I mean? His thuggish bone. Talking about, the Mexicans did do this. I knocked out 32 Mexicans. You got Whack 100 over there laughing like, on Pyru, right? Trip out, Whack 100. On Pyru, you know damn well, Holmes, when we were behind that band and there were several Mexicans coming at you, bro. Yes, you did back my play. Yes, you did handle your business, but you didn't knock out not a nair motherfucker. And that's a fact, bro. You might have been getting you off like where you were mad at, but there wasn't nobody on their back, Holmes, and they kept coming in waves, so I was scared. You left with a couple black guys yourself, so you know what time it is. And that's actual and factual, man, with 2 ears like Holyfield. Real talk, before Mike got it and ripped his shit off. You know what I mean? I can't call it. But what I will say is Big U, I respect the Volta as far as his stories. I respect them, but I'm going to call a whole lot of fucking big old cow pies on this motherfucker because real talk, in a righteous way, I will say, man, knowing the Yardas, being in certain places, and no, I wasn't there that day in Pelican Bay. If I was, so I was going to hit a stab the shit out of me too. I will say that never happened, bro. All you have to do is watch the tape. There wasn't one person knocking all kinds of people out. Who the fuck you think you are? What, the Lone Wolf McQuaid or something? Charlie, kick your fucking teeth out. You didn't do none of that. What you did is just like everyone else. You backed up in the corner. You slung them with the best of them. And you should be thankful to good heavens that you didn't get scraped up, because I'm telling you, Vatos were coming. Oh, yes, homie. They were coming. They had your name written all over their shank. They didn't have to say a word. And they weren't going to say a word. They were just going to stab your ass. Bang. And like in that fashion. Anyways, with that being said, man, you need to stop belittling our people. You need to stop talking about Mexicans ain't this, Mexicans ain't that. Mexicans can't rap. We ain't opening doors for people. Whoop-de-whoop, boop-de-boop-boop. Because at the end of the day, man, if we stand together as one, as a people, it'll all be good in the hood. You already know what it is, man. And that's how we need to fucking proceed. But when anybody sits there and says the Southern Mexicans, man, were taking L's that day, Sasuke, you got the game messed up. I'm telling you right now, there was a whole bunch of individuals that were stabbed up on that yada. And none of them Mexicans, man. You know what I mean? He's a Mexican, that's it. Well, he ain't. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. Put a little respect on our name, man. I know I'm not from down south, and I'm not here to represent the Southern Mexicans, man. I'm here to represent myself and the raza, the brown people, and the black people, man. That's why I rock with Nip. But I will tell you this, straight up, actual and factual, man. Get it together, baby. Just keep it real, man. Just keep it real. Anyways, with that being said, I hope that you move fast with a purpose. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. Again, shout out to Dubs V's channel, man. If you haven't tapped into his video, make sure you tap in. This is my response video to his. He was dead on. He was correct. And we know what time it is, Dubs. Sounds good? We know. To Big U, I say this, and I know you're going to watch this, and I say, hey, it's nothing but respects, bro, but keep it real, man. You ain't got to lie to kick it. Sounds good. I ain't even trying to kick it with you. You ain't got to kick it with me. I don't want to kick it with you. But at the end of the day, stop lying, vato. Period. The gun. Bang, bang. Like and subscribe.